believe that something like that has not already started an investigation. But the behavior of the young man in particular that was captured not only shows extreme lack of control, but it shows violence. And this in itself shows that the way he was behaving is what him see as normal. How he was beating that little girl when she retaliated, right? It's not something that he has not seen before. Now, I know that one perspective is that, listen, the parents could be raising them well and this is happening. Another perspective is that the parents them are live some dirty life and is what the children see, them mimicking. But I'm going to give you a third perspective, right? Listen. I've often said on my platform, it takes a village to raise a child. And that mentality has died out of Jamaica. For the simple reason that you might see a child do something and then reel up on you and go on the most way. And said parents will come and want to beat you if you try to talk to them picnic. The whole concept of everybody, each one teach one, is dead in Jamaica. And as such, children are allowed to behave out of sorts, to carry on any way they want to carry on. And adults would rather hold them head straight than get into confrontation. Sometimes confrontation will lead to loss of life or wounding. You understand? Them same picnic they where I walk around with weapon. Look at what happened with that little 11-year-old child and that 14-year-old girl. She used a tail coma in him life. You understand? And many times it is what they're exposed to within their communities that they see as normalized. Every time I used to go on TikTok, there was a teacher and he was a very nice teacher, very good teacher. But he always used to do these videos where he was dancing with the little kids, primary school age children. He has since moved on from the primary school. But one time he was dancing to a song. And I went on there and I said, those lyrics are not appropriate for a child. Me get one Wadipa comeback. Is just dancing. Why don't I listen to lyrics and Ray? And I said, what you feed children in the formative years becomes a part of who they are. And if you are normalizing sex at an early age through lyrics, a lot of these children will start to act on the things that they are hearing. Over and over, it has been said that the lyrics of songs that the children listen to is starting to have a very, very deep impact on the behavior of kids. Nobody now want to take it on. Everybody talk about how the music has always been. No, it has not always been. When I was growing up as a little girl, me never hear nobody talk about dung in your throat. Me never hear that in a no lyrics when me grow up on. That never exists. You hear what me say? Huh? I never hear nobody talk about spitting our throat. I call no girl no dirty whore. Me never hear any of those kind of lyrics when I was growing up. Even if they were sexual, they were not over sexualized lyrics. And now we have a society where I see children in the middle of a party or a dance, and those lyrics are being played uncensored on a regular basis. And the daggering dancing that's happening in dancehall never happened when I was a kid. Yes, live. Right? Never happened when I was a kid. All those things that little children see. Man a grab woman and a deal with them all kind of way in a dance in the form of entertainment. Women allowing men to dagger them and to push down their head in a sound drum, have them batty up in the ear, man behind them and ram out them insides as entertainment. Because it go both ways, you know. We can't just say the men because the women allow it. All those things, little children are sitting back and they are watching. When Garrison have dance, picnic supposed to their bed. Try now say what if them sneak out and then at the dance too. And I observe. And I see all of these things that we consider to be entertainment and fun. And it's very, very sexualized adult fun that children are being exposed to. It may not be their parents. It may not be their mother or their father or their grandmother do it. It could be the neighbors. It could be the friends' parents. You understand? And just by being in the environment and absorbing all of this, objectification of the female body, manifesting through dance or even in lyrics or even in the way man and woman communicate with each other on a day-to-day basis. Nobody is censored anymore on the streets. People just cuss up the dirty bad word them on a regular in front of kids. I see parents do it all the time. You understand? And I give God thanks, you know, that me never raised so. Never raised so at all. The few times me hear my parents, my mother cuss bad word, because I never hear my father cuss bad word yet. The few times me hear my mother cuss bad word, she would have turned to me and said, cock your ears. Me not really cock it, you know, but you know, me cock it. Because at least there was a regard. There was a regard for the fact that there needs to be boundaries. But now it is open discourse. And parents will be in front of their kids and chip up the whole heap of cloth them and talk all kind of something and talk man and woman story and talk about who give who born and talk about who sex at tonight. And all of those kind of things are being discussed in the presence of kids. All right. Me see the video with what's your name? Debbie Burp. Yes, me like Debbie Burp's song. But me see Debbie Burp a sing a song right in front of a little boy. One little boy there right beside her. And she did just a talk about how the front not figure up without money and all then kind of something there. Already the education that is being passed to that little boy is women are objects. You have to financially invest in them like a transaction in order to get what you want. He's not hearing stories of romance, the stories of love. He's not hearing about how you have to woo a female by chivalry. He's not hearing that. He might hear say, oh, as long as you peel off, you get peace. You understand? He takes that away and he feeds that to his companions. By the time you look, several of them have walked away with the same mindset and the same mentality. Right? So many times, as I said, it is not the parents necessarily putting it in their head or showing them. Because it takes a village to raise a child. And when they step out of your household, you might be a little Christian mother there, trying to protect your children from certain things. And when them step out and go mix with them friends, the kind of things that's going on around those friends gets fed into your child. That little boy beat that little girl like it is something that him see around him. It is considered normal. Nobody has ever probably had the conversation that such types of behavior are wrong. He has probably also been given the mindset that anything he wants, he must take it by force. A lot of our boys are being raised without any love, being raised rough, because that is how you're supposed to be if you're a boy. So because they're not getting any affection that is nurturing, they don't know how to take it slowly when it comes to building a relationship with the opposite sex. They feel everything them have to take by force, so they can't deal with rejection. So when a girl look at him and say no or leave me alone, those are the kind of boys that we turn on and start cuss the girl them and class them because them say no. because them not used to being told no. Or if them get to know, they're taught that them could take what them want by force. There's a whole heap of things going wrong with our children. High state of violence in our schools. Over sexualized music that is being exposed to. You know how much school party me sip on TikTok. And the music where I play, the bad one them still a chip in it no censor. It no censor at all. I have seen some schools playing some type of music. I may say backside. In my day, there's no way that would I get for play. And they picnic them and sing the song them and I sing out the bad word them in front of teachers, no boundaries. Likewise, when I see these videos of teachers doing little dance and so with the kids, okay, it can be innocent, we know. And it's better them dance than them fight. Yes. But you know what is happening? It's a breakdown of boundaries. And that breakdown of boundaries, as innocent as it appears, can lead to other breakdown of boundaries. You understand? Now, Mega said this. You see them kids that have been caught on video and it has been leaked. Let me tell you now, a long time them thing they happen amongst our kids. Long time it happen. Maybe not as often, maybe not as drastic, maybe not with a full adult in the room, but it has been happening. We have heard about girls who have train run upon them. Yes, we have heard about it. But because those were not the days of phone, we not see. We only hear. You understand? And even in those days, schools used to try and keep it hush-hush and handle it off air and under the quiet so that the kids them can move on with their life. You understand? A lot of these kids that are acting out nowadays and being caught is because phone they bout. So phone have its advantages, and its disadvantages. Because by revealing such behavior, we are now realizing that we are tackling demons in these kids that have probably existed for a long time. And because of the phone, we can get to see everything what go on. Now I hear the conversations that's happening all over TikTok. And a whole heap of people are basically trying to blame that little girl. Me hear them. Where she go there suffer? Where she go in the room for with them whole heap of boy? Why she do that? She never smart. A little girl not supposed to be looking at her parent thinking that there's going to be a potential ganging situation. That's not supposed to be happening. That mindset not supposed to be there. To blame that child is also reckless, and victim blaming in this case is ridiculous. You understand? Those boys need to be met with the full force of the law and treated like adults. Them need to get time. But in addition to that, that man that was present in that room need to get life. Like, you hear it yet? I wonder if you go back and listen. The man blatantly said, me would have take peace too, but just through a little pitney. So once again, we have somebody who is supposed to be the voice of reason in cahoots with these little kids and cannot even stop them from their sordid behavior. You heard it. You understand? And I really and truly wonder what is going to be the outcome of this. I hear Faval and the rest of them talking about, oh, it's so distressing, the violence that's happening in our schools. What the hell are you guys doing about it? All I know, I do a chat on a big word on the podium, them and I chat peer crap in a people's ears about what is happening in schools and how terrible it is. And I hear absolutely no policy being laid out to stop things from happening. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing any serious discussions about the changes that need to be made in schools. You know that in American schools, they do so much. But although they have done so much, their gun laws make it almost impossible to stop certain violence from taking place. But in areas where they're particularly strict, them put up all security and search machine for scan and metal detect. Right? bag search, everything, those things take place and make sure no weapons are upon body. It at least minimizes it, even if it doesn't eliminate it. And of course, we know so you can't control what happens at school gates. But what you can do is you can have security out there. You can have people monitoring the children as they enter and exit. You understand? You can make it a no school uniform in any place of business policy and have businesses sign up to that. The amount of picnic where hitch up in a KFC and Burger King at evening time. You understand? Rather than go their yard. In their school uniform I go on the most. There needs to be a whole island approach in terms of how to discipline children outside of the household and outside of school. Certain things need to be arrestable on sight. Once upon a time, you used to get arrested because bad word in front of people. You know that? And now it's not happening at all. No, he never told them to stop. He never told them to stop. If anything, he was gratifying himself by watching it. You understand? That man in himself might be a walking predator. Because as much as he's talking about him wouldn't take peace as a child, he might enjoy himself. What made that video come out or how did it manage to come out, I don't know. That in itself also need investigation. Right? Of course he can be creative. Of course he can be. So when I heard it, I said to myself, mighty God of Daniel, this is not all kids. It gets even worse. Because at least you can say kids have a certain degree of emotional and physical immaturity. Right? But here you have somebody who is supposed to be the guiding voice, the voice of reason and conscience, actually encouraging the situation. Laughing when the boy was beating the girl. And I said, look how he might beat her for her own affront. That was a man. You understand? That was a man. But I am trying to get people to start to think about the kind of things that you expose children to. Because children's minds are underdeveloped and fragile in many ways. Right up until them are 19, them head no good. They will make stupid mistakes and they will make stupid decisions. Just because of hormone imbalance in itself. And we might have seen kids that appear resilient and robust on the outside. But because their thinking faculties are underdeveloped, they're cognitively impaired because of their lack of growth in terms of exposure and experience in life. They will make stupid decisions without thinking that they're throwing their entire life away. The kind of traumatic things that children are being exposed to nowadays is also a breeding ground for sociopaths and psychopaths. You could see some very sick children walking around and think it's just a normal child. But based on that child's early premature experiences with trauma, they take it out on others in ways that you would never imagine. From the moment the government started to see the spate of mass killings that were taking place from St. Catherine and all boat nowadays, they should have realized that our country is in a state of national emergency when it comes to our kids, our youth. They have lost conscience. The kind of songs that are coming out of the dance hall now is a contributory factor. May I say that with my 10 toes down without ever changing my mind. Because some of those lyrics that these children are singing verbatim, taking into their psyche. And I'm going to tell you when it first started to degenerate. Because, listen, dancehall has always had its lewd lyrics in certain songs, you know. But you know, when demons really start to enter dancehall, I'm going to tell you when. Tommy Lee is the one who opened that portal. I mean, now take it back. Vybz Kartel, he started to go that way. Because he never started out like that, you know. But some of his lyrics started to go really left. But he never once started talking about demons. But Tommy Lee was the one who opened the portal. You understand me? The moment that man legitimized talking about demons and invoking them in lyrics, others started to follow suit. Then we had Alkaline with him black eye when him come out to talk about a tattoo depend on a lie. Leggy. Bap bap. Yes. Yes, Leggy. They started something in dancehall that was it turned conscience on its head. The underbelly was fully exposed. It then became legitimate to say the worst things in lyrics, and it considered to be cool. And I don't know if you guys realize that from that point, dancehall has never been the same. What young people started to enjoy as lyrics actually invited evil thoughts and spirits into their souls. And I am speaking from a spiritual perspective, but try no say the spiritual manifesting the real. When I listen to some of the lyrics of songs these days, it is rare to find wholesome dancehall lyrics. The ones that they celebrate are purely highly sexualized lyrics. You understand? They speak about a lot of violence. And your little kids will be dancing to it and singing to it. And the dances are very, very, they're very enticing. It's all about coordinated dances now. And that in itself will make you go, Lord Jesus, she can dance here, him can dance here. You're not listening to what they're dancing to. One guy has come out to try to revolutionize dancehall. He's come out with dancehall gospel. I'm going to say Cardi B like him video over on Instagram. And I said, at least this lyrics I can listen to it and it still sound like dancehall. It not sound like church music necessarily. And even that in itself, some of the Christians, they might have said, no, sir, you're gone worldly, but thank God for that rescue. I'm just saying, you might think it's something simple when you see your child doing the chaka. And you're thinking, I just chaka. That's not nothing. Yes? Big bricks, drop it like bomb. I mean, when you think about it, you don't even realize that they're talking about scamming. They're talking about chopping the line. They're talking about doing anything for $1. Right? When you look at what the next brother named Valiant and Valiant's lyrics. Valiant's lyrics, he speaks a lot about science, guzo. Having a client and getting the client to give him anything he wants. Using black magic in order to achieve wealth and success. Opening other portals of degenerative thought in your youth. Because now they have normalized black magic. They have normalized communicating with the devil because I know God. And then you guys wonder why it is that our kids are acting out. Vibes Cattle is actually the one that started over-sexualizing. Yes, he started the over-sexualizing. That is correct. He started it, the over-sexualizing. But when it came to the demonic element, it was Tommy Lee and then Alkaline. Right? Yes. These things are, and this thing about the flipping, what you call it, the milk. What milk name? What the girl them a pour the milk in their mouth to mimic having semen in their mouth from oral sex. What is that thing that they talk about? The ensure. And when I watched even a video I saw with Vibes Cartel on the stage, and what was a very barely legal girl on her knees with a banana. A choppy banana and a spit you out like say she had give the man a BJ. And I'm saying to myself, what the hell is that? You understand? And everybody was like, cool, fascinating. Nothing cool or fascinating about it. No value that some of these women are also displaying in dance hall. You understand? These kind of things, the most we used to have back in the day are the head top dancers, the crab dancers, if anybody remember them. Right? We used to go up on their head top and dance. And that to us was like, wow. Yes? Nowadays, the things them what them are do in a dance hall to mimic sexual acts is sickening. Little children are observing these things, particularly in the lower echelons of society. And this is not to say that uptown kids now get exposed to it too, but it is definitely minimized. And anything them a do, they have to hide and do. But it not means that they not do too. And it doesn't mean that things like this isn't happening uptown. I want to tell you that. Because I know quite a few girls from Campion who have been through that in my time in high school. And some of these boys who did it to them, also fellow Campionites, are walking around in suit and tie. Some of them are leading a flipping country. Me not say nothing more. You understand? And they have gone without consequence. So if you don't think that this is a nationwide problem, that's something that needs to be tackled. Censorship that needs to start taking place. Things like this need to become criminal offense, as in you fine them to start with. If you hear about a party being held in a school and any bad word and any sexualized lyrics are played, that school they get whacked with a fat fine. You see how quick it stop play. Same for buses that transport young people. Because I in this so the dance them can keep more time and appear feel up going in there. You understand? Monitoring how things happen in front of kids as much as you possibly can in public spaces. Sending a solid message to parents who allow children to be exposed to it, and it becomes a part of neglect, and therefore it is considered child abuse. Responding accordingly. You're not going to do that. Because you're not going to pump money into that. You're going to pump money into your pocket. And fat up on a bank account. You politicians. While the children have started to take each other's 3 points. LA is making sure the portals remain open, giving scammers and artists gathering. All them something there. All those nonsense. You understand? That's why, as much as, me rate 7, me sorry. When me did see him over Planka shop, me come off fast. Because me like what me see. Me like him. Me tell you that straight. I don't deal with anybody that dabble in the dark spirits at all. I don't. Right? And I'm not saying that the Christians are any better, because some of the Christians, when me see I walk up and down nowadays, I talk about Bible, appear wickedness, them I do too. Me da rather just a God-fearing person who do their own thing. Me not lie. Right? But I am concerned that we as a society are not realizing that the way things, remember, these are kids, And if they're doing these things as children, what will they become when they become men? What will happen when these girls become women filled with trauma of being abused like this as little girls? It has been happening, yes. But because we are seeing it on camera, it is feeling even more traumatic than probably what we had heard and not necessarily witnessed. You understand? And unfortunately for these girls, while those ones without the camera could have just move on with them life and try get over it, bit by bit, these ones will have it as a constant reminder, because nothing now out from the internet, Once it's out there, and it now go ever come back. What is going to happen to our island is the question you need to ask. When traumatic situations like this happen, the PTSD is real. Some of these girls will go on to be mothers of boys, mothers of girls. How are they going to raise them if they have these things not dealt with? What counseling is the government putting in place for girls like this who go through this kind of situation? For boys like this who think it is okay to perpetrate such criminal acts against females? Because them need help too, you know. The other things are just prison them need. They need prison, yes, as punishment. But they also need some form of rehabilitation because they're going to be turned out back into society with the same mindset, if not worse. What parental counseling is taking place? Look at that video when we did see one day with the little boy. The little boy tie up. You know did see that video there? With the little boy with tie up. And look like he have a cook up on his forehead. As punishment. All these kind of things, these sickening things. Parental classes need to be free. Parents need to be taught how to discipline. I mean, no say. People like to say that beating is important because spare the rod and spoil the child. Okay. But within reason, if you don't have to resort to smacks in the hand, the palm of the hand. Nothing but a soft item. Slippers. If you have to. Me personally would have rather you not do it at all. That you instead take away privileges. You understand? And that becomes last resort. But honest to goodnessly, I would really like to see what the government is going to do about this case. How they are going to respond to it. Stop going up on a podium and talking about the fact that, oh my God, we're so distressed about the violence. What are you going to do as executable plans within the schools to stop weapons from entering and exiting? No sharp tail comb not supposed to allowed. After I want to see something like that, it should be a nationwide approach. Tail comb can't come in a school. The bag them need to start get searched. Body search need to happen. In a particular schools especially, but it need to happen. One student do something like that supposed to make it 10 times worse for the others so that them can't get away with such. Parents need to be told to come collect them picnic after school or no child will be released without an adult collection. Only need for staff to be strict. This whole thing of Legoing kids, you see now this is also going to feed into another thing, and that is the workforce. This is also going to feed into parental rights because Jamaica is a place where parental rights don't exist. Whereas over here, we have flexible working attached to our contracts once you are a parent of a school-age child. Wherever possible, employers have to give you reasonable allowances to be able to go and collect your child, drop your child at school. And you make up your hours. Jamaica would have never allow something like that. Because every business place down there have on like cattle. I work on like slave without any regard for family life. When they say children are the future, it is a literal thing. It's not metaphorical. It is a fact. And if these children are doing this, you are going to be a nation of criminals in the next coming generations. My womb shifted just reading the headline. Let me not tell you, they're going to brush it off, just all the things that have happened before. You see it? Oh, the boys are in counseling, and the girl is in counseling, and they're not going to want to treat it like it is a major crime. No, because they don't want to destroy children's lives. Them need serious punishment. Them need to be locked up. Put them in a juvenile prison then, if Jamaica ever have such. But no, we need prison for kids. It's like we don't realize that. We need to have serious prison for kids. Where them go to school with some drill sergeant like teachers when no mess about. As them step out a line, them get locked in. You understand? Exactly, Namsara. That's another thing. Flexible working is important for work-life balance. Exactly. Right? They have got all kinds of sex offenders walking amongst us. And they privatize that list. How does that make sense? You know, it is so funny because when I was doing the research on CMR, when I looked into his criminal record, when I tell you that within 5 miles, I think, or 15, can't remember, 1 5 in there, 5 or 15 miles, the face and address of every sexual predator within the radius of his house came up. The face and the address, the name, the date of birth, address, everything. Picture in a full color of every sexual offender within a certain mile radius of his house came up. And this is what will happen if, say, for example, he's found guilty of his allegations. He's going to end up on such a list. And anybody will search within his vicinity and go see him face if he's still living in a same house. But Jamaica continues to be slack on this. Why? Because a whole heap of the tapanaris dep on the list. They don't want the embarrassment. So they would rather risk children continuing to be overexposed. Because a lot of these people are still meandering in and out of institutions where children are present. Having close contact with minors. There are so many things wrong in our society. Nobody now make no actionable move. Experiment, no man. Come up with something better than nothing and try it out. If it don't work, gonna go back to the drawing board. Do something. You understand? The government have built up all the house all over the place. All well and good. A whole heap of people can't even afford to get them. What are you doing about the youth? Favor, you just running your mouth. I don't see what you're doing. Not to mention the fact that the national curriculum is in shambles. I've looked at it. It's ridiculous. But that's another story. You understand? It's like on everything. Big up yourself, bro, Shaka. I am just so shocked that in the presence of these 7 boys, there was planted an adult who could have stopped everything, who could have said, leave the girl alone, who could have protected the child, who could have protected the boys from themselves. Instead, that individual was busy filming. And remember, it is that same filmed event came from the adult's phone. So it's the adult that leaked it. Is the adult that leaked it, or the adult's phone was accessed and the information came out? So the adult is no better. If anything, the adult is 10 times worse than those boys who carried out that grievous offense. And the fools that are there blaming the little girl that she not street smart. A little girl like that not supposed to street smart. She not supposed to have that wit about her. Because it shouldn't be expected that something like that was going to happen. But no, we're going to have to train our girls to avoid male company as much as possible and to not go to any place isolated with any boy, no matter how much you like that one boy. Because that one boy might charm you to death and make you feel a sense of comfort and make you go to that place. And by the time you look, a whole bunch of them descend upon you. We have to bring back abstinence teachings into our PSHE so that the children are hearing these social skills of holding out until marriage. I bet you that's no longer being taught, excepting in religious indoctrinated schools. Bring back those kind of lessons. Not just birds and bees, but values attached to physical contact. Go back to teaching boys about being gentlemen, waiting, not taking advantage of females, or using their brute strength against them. Do as much within school as you can, but certainly outside of school, the government needs to intervene. There needs to be a nationwide approach. Where are the profits? Yeah! Them not serve no purpose yet, Jeanette. All them good for if you come online, come cost them one another nowadays. Appear that them a do. Them the so-called profit there and prophetess there. You understand? But trust and believe there's a lot going on with our young people. And wherever it's possible for action to take place, the government should act swiftly because it is now a state of emergency. It is. You can't be having so much crime happening around young people and it's not considered a state of emergency. Something that needs a direct parliamentary entry. You're supposed to head to parliament to start talking about this shit. And say, what the hell are we going to do about it? All parties concerned. No. Prime Minister busy try stay in a position and I do things to impress. Sometimes I'm glad I don't have children because I know I would get locked up. A whole heap of people would get locked up with this situation. A whole heap of people would get locked up because of it. And I really hope that the parents of that mother, that son, really and truly decide to listen. You got jail in our youth. And not try protect them boy. Because a whole heap of man would have did there say, but my boy like front and a she give to him. And start twist the story. Yes? Start twist the story. But it wasn't no grape because she never did that say no. She lick him and he lick her back. It wasn't no grape. Them are going to try to twist it. Some of these worthless parents, we don't want them child to take accountability. If the boy is guilty, he has to suffer the consequence. And the best thing you as a parent can do is to support his rehabilitation and keep visiting him. That may I say. It's devastating that little boy is going to throw up his whole life like that. And the rest of the boys as well. Because remember, him turn to them and say, you get your turn already and you get your turn already. So it suggests that several of them were involved. You understand? How is that little girl going to feel? How is the mother of that little girl going to feel? Look here now, man, people. I can't ever say nothing more about this, you know. We just need to pray for our island, yes, but we need action now. Because prayer without works is dead. We need action. We need the government to acknowledge that we have a serious problem in our island and nothing is being done about it. Enough is enough now. You understand? Enough is enough. And there will be far worse things to come if they do not act. Stop build house and go and fix what is happening with the youth. Because it's like saying, you see every house I got burned down if you don't fix the picnic them. Anyway, later guys, later. That was a distressing one. But I just had to get it out because I was too upset when I saw everything. And I couldn't really function without someone may have to say, you understand? Big up on a nice clean self. Like up the live on your way out. And I'll talk to you guys later. Alright? Bye-bye.